Welcome to today's live stream, guys. My name is Chris, and I am the Algo Man here on TikTok. And we're broadcasting live from Orlando, Florida, and yes, still across the street from the Magic Kingdom. It's uh, it's been quite the day, I tell you. But today's session is short and powerful because I've got a special birthday to celebrate tonight. But before we switch to party mode, let's break down a simple but effective visual trick that'll clean up your decision-making process on the 5-minute chart of the E-mini S&P, okay? And I thought this was important. It's one of those kind of little nuances that I felt that, it might be good to touch on because I want to make sure you guys are looking at this correctly and that you guys get clear context in everything that you're doing, okay? Now, I've mentioned this before in passing, but today we're putting it front and center, and we're using a manual drawing tool that's available here on NinjaTrader. It's called the Region Y Threshold, which is this bad boy right here, and it's a free tool. Okay, just right click, use the drawing tools, and it's right up here. It's this one right there. Okay, now let me show you what it does. This is this drawing that I've got down here on the chart. Okay, so what it does, it's not an indicator. Just putting that aside, it is not an indicator. Okay, it's just a simple visual box that you basically draw right here on your 5-minute chart using the NinjaTrader built-in drawing tool. It's that simple, okay? Now, what it does is that it helps clearly define chop zones, basically areas where prices kind of bounces aimlessly in a tight cyclic range. And I'll show you right now and in today's recap why that's important when using a tool like PredictMO, okay? When price is inside that box, we wait. When price breaks out with momentum, we look for a trade. This helps you to visually stay out of noise and kind of stay patient for better trade setups, especially if you're using the 5-minute as a guide to making better trading decisions on the 2-minute time frame. You don't want to get caught in stuff like this right here, okay, that's just kind of going sideways when there's really no momentum in price. You see that? And every time it kind of perks its little head, this orange line comes up above. There always seems to be a takeoff in price, and this is something that we're going to be looking at closely today. Okay, so now make no mistake, PredictMO is still doing all the heavy lifting for you right here. We're still using PredictMO to identify the slope shifts, to confirm breakout direction, and to validate whether momentum is real or just another big push. Okay. The region-wide threshold just gives us a visual filter. PredictMO gives us the actual green lights. So let's go ahead without any further delay and put this bad boy to the test and see exactly where it takes us in today's session between the open and 12 noon. Okay, so here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom. And this is being played back at 20 times the speed of the market. We never run after the first bar of the open. This is, by the way up here in the VWAP on top. So it's either going to continue running or it's going to fold and fall. So let's see what happens. It looks like we've got a touch with the predictor right here at the 0 line, not exactly across yet. So we're not going to take that trade to the upside. And sure enough, look at this. Third bar of the day, there was no cross. It just kind of flipped the other way around right there. So there's no trade to the upside right there. That means that momentum is dying, okay? That totally means that momentum is dying right there and that there's not going to be any continuation in the trade to the upside. Now, keep in mind that the green line in PredictMO right here represents price, okay? This is the wave formation in price. So if you're going to take a trade, you want to take it as
Order
close
filled.
to the inflection point right here as possible, okay? Right there. You see that little inflection point? You've got the predictor going down below 0, and you've got this bad boy at the inflection point. So that's where we would execute a short trade. We got here at the inflection point. Why? Because the predictor is already down, guys. And not only is it down, but it's down below the region Y threshold right here. So if it's down below the region Y threshold, and you get this kink right here, this hit to the inflection point, that is a go. That is a go where you want to, execute your trade and, run with it right there. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to get out of the trade whenever the predictor here crosses with the price line. Whenever it does that, we'll just pop out of the trade right there, okay? Let's buy that bad boy back,
Order filled.
and we're done. That's it. Enough. This is exactly what I want to see right there. I want to see the
Order filled.
predictor go above the region-wide threshold. And I'm going to kind of give you a little trick right now at the end to set this region-wide threshold so you can see exactly how to fit it to a 5-minute chart depending on the settings that you've got set here with the predictor, okay? So now that this bad boy is going up, it crossed clearly right here above zero, but it also blew past the region-wide threshold. You had your inflection point right there as well. So this bad boy's just going up. So we're going to get out of this trade whenever they intersect. That'll be the end of the move. One thing I love about the ES, guys, is that it's a nice, slow moving instrument. It's not as bipolar as the NASDAQ 100. And there you go. You've got your intersect right there. And that's right there, guys, where you're going to blow out of this
Order filled.
trade right smack right there, okay? This is on the ES, okay? You can theoretically wait until the predictor crosses below the zero line. Fair game with that, no problem, okay? Um, in this case, I just wanted to take it out at the cycle crossing right here, and that's fair game as well. So let's see what other trades come out of this session between now and 12 noon. And this is only on the 5-minute. Now, again, um, I've said this before, guys. If you're self-funded, the 5-minute chart is a great chart to use for your executions if you want to just execute on the 5-minute chart. I primarily use the 5-minute chart to see where the actual turns are and then execute my trades either on a 2-minute or 1-minute chart, depending on um, what your settings are in your indicators on the 2-minute or the 1-minute chart. So you can use either, okay? They're both great charts. It really comes down to trader preference at the end, but they're both really good charts. Now, watch what's going on right here, guys. Since I got out of the trade, price has just kind of been going sideways right here. Look at this. There's really no price action whatsoever, okay? And you see the predictor is inside the region-wide threshold right there. There is no movement. It's not coming out. This is telling you that you're in a tight cyclic rotation. And if you're in that tight cyclic range, then chances are you're going to see a lot of chop on your 2-minute or 1-minute chart, which is going to make it difficult for you to really try to time a good trade that's going to run. Look at the difference between these two trades right here. The commonalities are that you had a zero crossing by the predictor, which is the orange line. It came below the region Y. You had inflection points right here, made for a nice reversal trade to the downside. On the upside swing here, you had the predictor go above the region Y as well. You had a threshold hit, and boom, here we go, guys, another nice trade. But have you seen anything here? Here we had a threshold hit, but the predictor never came below the region Y. It's just inside the channel. Look at this. This whole time that I've been speaking, it's just inside the channel. What this is telling you is that you are in these tight 2 to 3 bar cyclic rotations that make it very choppy on the higher time frame to start looking for quality entries on your 2-minute or 1-minute chart. This is one way. This is the reason why I want to illustrate this to you guys, because when you're using these tools, you want to help yourself make absolute clear sense of what's happening with market structure. Because if you're not clear with what's happening with market structure, then you're just going to be really chasing price action on the lower time frame, kind of thinking that price is moving one way when it's really not. Just look at the rotations right here, guys. Even though it's outside of the 15 bar VWAP, it's just super, super tight. There's nothing going on. There's not a lot of movement, okay? These aren't the type of trades that are likely to take off and be big winners for you on the smaller time frames. So if you want to avoid a lot of the noise on the smaller time frames, you can adjust your region-wide threshold right here on the 5-minute chart to ensure that you only capture trades like this, okay, that really have legs and actually move, okay? Both of these were quality trades. You could have spotted them on the lower time frame and executed those trades with confidence. But right here, look at this. We're already to 12 noon, guys, on this demo. It hasn't gone anywhere. Let me just stop it there. Yeah, because we're at 12:08 already, okay? So what I did is I just kind of went back on the 5 minute chart, and I started to look and I started to see, okay, where is price really taking off on this 5 minute chart? Well, it's taking off whenever you get these inflection point hits and whenever the predictor crosses below your region Y. You can play with the width of the region Y threshold. This one here on the 5 minute chart, I've got it set to 33. Normally, I've got a 43 width on the region Y, and I think I've got those like on a 2 minute or 1 minute chart, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. I kind of brought this down a little bit to 33 to kind of give it a little bit more of a range bound region right there. But you can play with the settings, guys. You can, make it 29 or 31, whatever, as long as you know that it's capturing this tight cyclic um, swing right here that's not going to do anything but produce noise on your lower time frame chart. So having this on the chart is super important, guys, because if you're only looking for high quality swings, look, here's another section right here where the market just kind of goes nowhere. It goes sideways, and you've got the predictor right here, price going here. But the moment it comes up right here, look at this. I mean, this is off to the races right here, guys. Boom, it goes up all the way. Okay, there's no crossing with the green line, but as soon as it crosses below the zero line, that's right here. That's one bar before the market closed yesterday at 1610. And this is a nice run in price. This is about as clean as you're going to get. But there's a commonality that you see, and that's what I'm trying to illustrate with this recap today, guys. And if you see it and it repeats itself, chances are that you could quantify it and bring value to what you're doing as part of your setup. So anytime you see it kind of meandering inside this region Y threshold at 0.33 on a 5 minute chart, chances are, you know what? It's just noise. Okay, and if it's noise, why do you want to even look at a 1 or 2 minute chart and chop yourself up in pieces thinking that price is going to move only just to kind of have it do one of these? You know, and just kind of bounce around and really do nothing. So this is what I wanted to illustrate today. The chart is going to be posted on the Discord. Okay, and your action items are kind of simple, guys. Just load the 5 minute chart of the E-mini S&P right here. Draw this region Y threshold. You can set it at 0.33, or you can kind of play around with the settings, either 29 all the way to 33, and kind of see where it breaks right here. You see that? Okay, and it works really well. Okay, it works pretty darn good. And then apply PredictMO. I've got PredictMO here set at 36, and track the exits where the slope confirmations tell you to exit. Okay, replay it from 9:30 till about 12. You'll see that if you were only using the 5 minute chart, there were only really two quality trades that were to be taken today. To the downside, to the upside, and all this right here was noise that could have been prevented by looking at PredictMO kind of bouncing around inside right here, okay, and not actually exiting the region Y. So, and let's see if you can cut the noise and stay patient. That's the whole gist of this right here. Just kind of bounce around with the settings anywhere from maybe 23 to 43 and see where it gives you this range on the 5 minute time frame where you can spot where price is noisy. And that's the whole exercise right there. Spot where price is noisy. And this way it'll keep you out of a lot of the bad trades that typically happen in this region right here. Because if from this point, okay, from 10:55 all the way till 12 noon, if you look at your 2 minute or 1 minute chart, you're going to see a lot of noise. And this is one way to avoid those trades by looking at the 5 minute chart, is just watching the predictor stay inside right here this whole entire time. It's absolutely beautiful to see. And so that's part of the exercise I want you guys to do. All right. So now, if you've ever looked back, guys, all right, and realize you took 6 trades in a zone where price barely moved, this whole session is for you. Visual tools matter, and smart signals matter even more. And what you guys need to do is you need to stop guessing. And you need to take the 7-day free trial, click the link in my bio, load PredictMO, draw a simple drawing tool right here on the chart that'll really save you from a lot of bad trades. Okay, and learn to wait for structure.